Hey everybody, this will be my weekly report for the week of January 11th, or today's January 11th, so it's for the past week. And I'm going to I'm just going to review, instead of doing like each race discreetly, I'm going to try like every week to review a little bit from all the races that had something happen in it I thought was noteworthy. And so this is for the past week, this first full week of 2026. And I'm just going to kind of go through the races a minute or two each, or however long it takes, just to give you some who's running, who knew was running. Were there any events or interviews or anything of note the week before? Any other kind of news, that sort of thing. So I'm going to start with the U.S. Senate race to start at the top and kind of work our way down. The thing that happened in the U.S. Senate race this past week was that one of the Republican front runners, Michael Collins, some might think he is the front runner, but there's three of them that are up there pretty close to each other. It's hard to tell who has the advantage. Anyway, Mike Collins' story came out about an intern working out of his house office being paid apparently for not doing any work. Now, that sounds sort of like a hanky panky thing, and apparently it may have been, but not directly with Michael Collins. It was with Collins, I think, assistant. Seemed to be having some kind of relationship with this woman named Carolyn Craze. And no, I'm not making that name up, Carolyn Craze. His assistant's Brandon Phillips. Apparently, those two were having some kind of relationship. She was on the payroll, having house funds, government funds used to pay her apparently for nothing. So that's an ethics complaint. That's not you might think that's sort of just it's a mudslinging time, that kind of thing. But this actually comes from the House Ethics Committee, which is a bipartisan committee, equal number of Democrats and Republicans. So for anything to be referred out, it has to have the agreement of people in both parties. So this one got referred out, and Collins uh, apparently was aware of the situation. I guess we'll find out more. But that's sort of the nuts and bolts of the referral to the ethics committee. Collins is still in the House, so he is prone to ethics committee violations and reports and that sort of thing. So there is that going on today or this week in the Senate race. We'll hear more later if there's anything to it. But that could be a problem. You never want to have an ethics violation report coming at you while you're in the middle of a campaign. That's usually bad. Okay. So that's the U.S. Senate race. Otherwise, things are kind of status quo there. It seemed like this past week. When it comes to Shawn's race, if you go to, let's see, let me get the right thing here. What is that? Shawn, if you go to our website, and here we go, I kept pushing the wrong thing. If you go to our website now, if you go to our website, just remember dadecountydems.com/elections. We have all these offices, and me and our tech guy JJ have been working on this to add more and more. We still got a few down toward the bottom to do, but we have the U.S. Senate race here. We have the Shawn's U.S. House of Representatives race here. You can go to each one of these pages, and then there's a playlist for down at the bottom for each office, each campaign. And if you go to Shawn, there's Atlanta News First just did an interview this morning, in fact, an hour-long interview with Shawn. So you can look at that there and see more about that interview there. It's good that Shawn's getting Atlanta media. That's a big thing for his campaign. Most of the candidates are not going to be able to pay for commercials in Atlanta. I don't even know if Shawn can or not, but Shawn's in probably better financial. Well, he is in better financial shape than all the rest. But that's sort of a goal, is to get commercial time or get as much free air time in Atlanta as he can, because that covers the southern counties, Cobb and Paulding and Polk and Floyd. So he's doing that. He's working on that, which is good. So there's that interview there at the top of the playlist if you want to see that. Head back to get too many tabs open. Okay, the next race would be governor's race. And in the governor's race, I haven't, first of all, I haven't interviewed any of the governors yet. I haven't set them up. I'm starting to do that this week. So we are going to get the interviews going with them. Uh, the big thing that happened this past week was that I think it was the first forum, first debate, if you want to call it that, with all of the major seven Democratic candidates. Now, if you look at our page for governor, you'll see, I think, 10 listed there. But I even note on the page that three of them don't seem to be fully fledged candidates yet. They've filed, but that's about it. And so the seven that have gone through all the steps that you would think they've gone through, they have the ability to raise money. They've done their declaration, websites up, blah blah blah, all that stuff. The seven who have done that had a forum or debate in Savannah, and you can see both parts of it here. It's in the governor playlist. And again, if you go to our website, let me back up and go to the website again. You go to the website, there's a governor's thing here. Click on that, takes you to the page. And right now, I just have them listed out here to the side, and go down to the playlist and click there. And that will take you to the same those two forums, or those two forums. Okay, that's actually one forum, part one and two. So, okay, so you got that. Okay, so there is the news on the governor's race, and you can watch and see how that goes. There's not a lot of interaction. It's mostly just candidates getting asked questions, them giving short answers, and that kind of thing. Okay, so that's in the governor's race. And as far as like stuff in the news or anything like that, that's pretty much it. Most of the time, the lower down ballot races will not get a lot of news. So we're going to get a lot of news for the Senate race and for Shawn's race in the House and for the governor's race. We'll only get very spotty news on the rest. And so I'll highlight those as I come across them. But chances are we're not going to get a whole lot of stuff in video form on our YouTube channel. There was one other thing I did add that came across, and it's one of my next subject are new people who have filed to run. And in the insurance commissioner, we previously had no one filing to run there yet, but Nabila Parks, I'm sorry, who's a state senator, has announced that she is running for insurance commissioner. And I did put a video of that announcement up on the YouTube channel for insurance commissioner. So that's there for you to watch. And again, this is our YouTube channel, play all the different playlists. We have one for each of the races. There will be more too. I got to do the down ballot races too, but we'll get to those as well. So she is announced this past week. Just to briefly give you a few others who have announced in the lieutenant governor's race, a third Democratic candidate, Seth Clark, has announced. Now, if you go to the lieutenant governor's playlist, both of the candidates that have been there up until now, which are Josh McLaurin and Richard Wright, they both done their videos with us. You can watch those. I'm going to reach out to Seth Clark, who is, I think, the vice mayor, or I think they call it mayor pro temp of Macon, Georgia. So he's announced that he's running. So that'll be a third Democratic candidate for lieutenant governor. I've told you about Parks for insurance commissioner. And we've had still another labor commissioner, I think number 7. Let me take a look at that. Commissioner of Labor. And we've had, well, I can't really see it here. Let me go to the website. This is why I built the website for. Okay, here we go. We've had Clarence. I've interviewed Clarence. I've interviewed Jason. I've interviewed Nikki. I've reached out to Anthony Robbins. He hasn't reached back yet. I'm still trying to get him. I've reached out to Christian Y. Smith. Hopefully, I'll hear from him soon. He just recently announced. Daniel Rosebud, I've gotten in contact with him, and I have scheduled an interview, so he's coming up. I still haven't had any luck with Jay Gibbs yet, who has filed to run. And now we've had Brett Hulme, I think is how you say his name, Hulme, who is a member of the Labor Council in Savannah. So he's a union guy down in Savannah, and I will be reaching out to him this week as well. So I think that's one, two, three, four, five, six. That's eight potential candidates. Now we still haven't qualified. Remember, qualifying for the primary elections, the regularly scheduled primary elections, is the first week of March. So we're still a ways off from qualifying for that. This upcoming week, Shawn Harris for the House race, the special House race, will be qualifying. In fact, he'll be qualifying at 9 o'clock tomorrow, Monday. Shawn's actually invited supporters to come down and be a part of that sort of a. It's a nice backdrop when a candidate can do that, have supporters there and all that. So if you want to go down to the Secretary of State's office for that, you can. And I think that's pretty much it for news this week. Like I said, these updates, I'll try to make them weekly as long as there's something going on, which there usually will be. I'll try to make them quick, and so you won't have to. You can keep up with what's going on without having to spend a lot of time doing it. And all the links for all the videos will be up in the playlists. This video itself will be up in the playlist as well. You got that little debate from the governor's candidates. So hope you enjoy these updates, and I'll see you next week for the next one.